Welcome to the Brand Success Podcast, where you'll hear amazing stories from people like you who overcame their fears, frustrations, and obstacles on their way to brand success. Join us to be inspired by how they persevered, pivoted, and powered on to success. Not easy, but they did it, and so can you.
We are with Nicole Lewis-Keeber, and she is going to tell us about her brand, which is a personal brand, and how she developed it and the lessons that she learned along the way. So, Nicole, take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. As you said, my name is Nicole Lewis-Keeber, and my brand is Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching. So I have a personal brand. I started with this brand name because I had been a therapist for 18 years, and so I was very connected to me as a person doing the work. And I felt like if my name was my brand for my coaching program, then I would have more flexibility about how I wanted to use it. And so that's how I wanted to achieve having a little bit more of an umbrella. So who I wanted to serve when I first started my business and branded myself as Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching is I wanted to serve small business owners and entrepreneurs who were struggling or needed some help with their relationship with their money, around the mindset piece of it. I'm not a financial planner. I'm someone who's interested in knowing what your emotional connection is to your money. And that was really kind of the focus of my work at that time. And I felt like that I would stand out because I was a money mindset coach under this Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching umbrella. What I discovered is that I really didn't connect with the whole idea of being a money mindset coach. What I learned is that I was much more, I was bringing much more of my therapy background and my skills as a coach to help people who were small business owners and entrepreneurs learn how to have a business that felt healthy, that they were connected to, and that they could tap into some of the challenges that they had in their previous life as a child in their growing up years, to have a healthier, happier business, because we bring all of who we are to our business, right?
Right.
So that's what I discovered I'm really not a money mindset coach. You know, I'm more of a coach for people to be in their business in a healthy way. And my biggest challenge was to kind of pivot away from that money mindset coach and figure out how can I take Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching and how can I begin to incorporate the findings and the learnings that I was getting from working with my own clients and change my business and pivot and keep this brand, keep this name recognition, but people understand that I was doing something different. So that was a pretty big challenge. Mm-hmm. So the journey went, money mindset coach, began to study the impact of childhood trauma on business. People didn't know what to call it. I wasn't sure what to call it. But my name brand and my name recognition stayed through that whole period of time, which was pretty fantastic. So the evolution went from money mindset coach to now a lot of my clients actually call me a business therapist, which is kind of fantastic. Mm-hmm. Again, still Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching is my brand. Mm-hmm. And what it has also done is given me the opportunity to take some of the frameworks and the learnings that I have had as a coach and then break them off into different programming and different brands underneath Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching. So if I had a very strict brand that only encompassed money and mindset, I would have had to pivot everything and rebrand everything. Mm-hmm. So having Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching gave me that opportunity to have kind of these pillars and these programs that came off of it. Like I have a program called Love Your Business School. That's a pillar, and it's an underpinning of Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching. So that's kind of how my brand story kind of evolved. And I would characterize my brand as a trailblazing brand. People don't really know what a business therapist is. We're still figuring that out. I talk about topics that a lot of people are not necessarily comfortable with yet when it comes to small business ownership and entrepreneurship, and I'm okay with that. So my brand is a personal one. It's very authentic. It's very me, and it brings all of my experiences together in this one moment to just really shine in my expertise. So to someone wanting to build their brand, these are three very important things that I would say to them. And I wrote them down because they're important, because I wanted to share specifically. I'm all in. The more connected you are to the heart of your brand, as opposed to a logo or a copycat brand of someone else, the better. You are you. Find your you in your branding and and what you see for your vision, for your company, for your business, whatever that may be. You're going to change and grow just like I did. Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching has had a lot of iterations and a lot of different focuses over the years, but people still recognize me. They recognize my name and brand and what I stand for. So you're going to grow. So have a brand that makes room for all of that growth. That's so very helpful, particularly when you're service-based like I am. And authenticity. You have got to be you. People will smell a fake from a mile away. Just be who you are. Be authentically you. And show up in your shine and your expertise within your branding, and you can't go wrong. So here's what I would have done differently. I think I would have let go of what other people were telling me my brand was early out, and I think got a little bit more intentional around what my belief about myself and my brand was. I think I followed a little bit of shiny object syndrome, taking advice from people who were not necessarily the right people to give the advice. That's what I wish I had done differently, because I do think I would have gotten to where I am in my brand a little bit sooner, and in my authentic voice a little bit sooner. So the future for me and my brand is that Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching is going to remain. I am known as a speaker, a business therapist, a mindset coach. I'm also seen and known as the founder of Love Your Business School. Mm-hmm. I'm known as the founder of the Inner Kiddo to CEO program. And now I'm also being seen as a Dare to Lead facilitator, because I trained with Brené Brown. So because I have a personal brand, I'm able to have these offshoots that really make a lot of sense to who I am and what I do in the world. So that's kind of the future for where I'm going. And it's really fantastic, and learned a lot of lessons along the way, who wasn't and who doesn't. That's what we do as small business owners. But the most important thing for me was to stay in my authentic voice and develop the language that I use so that people recognize it. And they do now. When I say call a thing a thing, people are like, oh, that's Nicole, So it's really kind of cool, to see that. And it's really gratifying to know that your language, your mission is really connected to who you are, and people recognize it.
What a great, concise way of explaining your brand. Can I ask you a few questions?
Absolutely. I love questions.
Okay, great. Good. So the different programs that you have, say the names of those programs again.
Yeah. So I have Love Your Business School, mm-hmm. which is a framework I created in doing the work, right? You need to do the work to know what the work bears out. And Love Your Business School is a offshoot of Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching. It is a group program. It'll be a course after the group program. And even under that a little bit, it's going to break down into Love Your Business, Love Your Money, and Love Your Leadership, right? Mm-hmm. So I can bring those things that I'm doing, like training with Brené Brown, I can bring those in under that umbrella, but it's still Nicole LewisKeeber Coaching, so it makes sense. I speak a lot, and one of the keynotes I give is called Inner Kiddo to CEO, and it really speaks to that business therapist part of, I help people really understand how their childhood impacts their current business. And I use inner kiddo a lot. It's a phrase that I use. And so that talk is very well known, mm-hmm. Inner kiddo to CEO. And that's what my private VIP coaching is at this point. It's called Inner Kiddo to CEO, and they love it, okay. So that's kind of how it works.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, good. That sounds great. One of the things that you said that I find really interesting is, and I think this is true for a lot of coaches and people who are trying to find their way. And whether they've been trying to find their way for a year or multiple years, it's still a very key question that I think is really important. And that is, how do you discern who to actually listen to? So, we all have that. Any entrepreneur has that shiny object syndrome. And I know that that gets in the way of our focus and our growth and how we feel about ourselves. You try something, it doesn't work, try something, it doesn't work. That happens a lot. You start to, have self-doubt. So do you have tips about, really how to discern which mentor or which coach or which path to go down?
I think the first thing is that you have to be doing the work. First of all, is looking at it, changing your mindset from a failure or success, continuum. Like it's not linear. It's just not this or this.
Right.
It is, what did you learn from it? So when you can change your mindset from I succeeded at that or I failed at it or I learned something, you have to kind of get in the middle a little bit there. I think it helps you learn and make those pivots and know yourself and what you want better. So that's the first tip I would say. Second is you've got to be in the work. If you're trying to put the cart before the horse, where you're chasing the shiny object and you want to do the flashy, shining social media things before you have a solid plan for yourself, before you have a solid system that you use. You've done the work with people and you really, really know what your language is and what really works for you. You're going to be less likely to chase shiny objects because you kind of know what works for you and you can see what marketing plan would really make sense for you or what person to listen to. Because I had been a therapist for 18 years and transitioned into the coaching world, I had a little bit less footing about what it means to be a business owner. But what I did do is I did follow my gut and my intuition, and I asked a lot of questions, and I didn't say yes without a lot of questions being asked. So I think you have to follow your intuition and try and keep your blinders on a little bit. You need to stay focused, put your blinders on and do what works for you and find your people who are walking their talk as well to mentor you.
Right. That's a great visual too, is to keep your blinders on. Both of us live in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania where the Amish are. Mm-hmm. And you've probably noticed with horses, when they're on the road, they will often have blinders on. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good analogy for really staying focused on the road, on the path.
It is. And you have to have something fantastic to share, serve, or sell, or the rest of it doesn't matter.
Right. Just kind of in summary and following up what you just talked about, something fantastic to share, sell. What would you tell our viewers and our listeners in terms of working with you, what they could expect in terms of results?
Right. So it depends on how we work together, but the overall result that you would get is that you would understand and be able to recognize how childhood experiences, we've all had challenging childhoods in some kind of way. I don't think anyone gets out of it. Right. How the belief in ourselves that gets created around that experience, and then the pattern of behavior, thoughts, feelings, and emotions that comes after that, how that is impacting your business structures now. You're going to get very clear about that, and you'll be able to recognize it and disrupt that pattern much sooner so that you can make more money, feel better about the money that you're making, and so that you can hire employees and actually let them do their job instead of taking the power back, trusting the clients that you're with and being able to have firm boundaries with them and understand where your triggers from your experiences in your past could show up in that relationship and derail it a little bit. You get so much clarity, and it's such a powerful place to be. Because with all of the experiences we have, there can be challenges around them, but there's also amazing skill sets and gifts that come from them too. And so I teach you how to really lean into those gifts and recognize those triggers so that your business can be healthy and solid and feels good again.
Right. And everyone, I just want to give a shout out to Nicole because Nicole and I worked together about 3 years ago, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
And I will always remember something that you said to me, which I thought was so insightful. And that was revenge money never lasts. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So I'll just give a shout out for you because I loved working with you. And I know that there are a lot of people that can really benefit from what you do, the work that you bring to the table. And everyone, feel free to, directly contact Nicole and have a chat with her about, whether it would make sense to work together or not. So, Nicole, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your insight and sharing your secret sauce for a successful brand.
Thank you for having me.
You just heard another great formula for brand success. What's your secret sauce or magic formula? Post your story on our Facebook page called Brand Buzz. Then come back soon for the next brand success story that's cooking up right now.